During an appearance on the EDDIETRUNK podcast, Jason Bonham reflected on Led Zeppelin's one-off reunion in 1995. The comeback took place as the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by Aerosmith's Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. At the event, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones played one brief set with Tyler and Perry along with Jason on drums, and then a second one with Neil Young and Michael Lee on the drums. Jason reached the subject when asked, "Do you hold out any hope that Zeppelin will ever play again? Or do you think there's a total button on that?" Jason replied,
I mean, no, I hadn't really thought about. I haven't thought about that for a long time. When we did, the hardest thing was I spent so much of my life, Eddie, and I think you know this for probably and would get it when you're a kid growing up and you've been around Led Zeppelin all your life, and then when tragedy happens, and then you get hired as the drummer with Robert to did all the pre-work on his first two solo albums. Then Jimmy took me out and I played on his only real solo album other than his soundtracks. Went on tour with him in '88. And then when they actually got back together with Page and Plant, that devastated me. That devastated me that they got, Michael in to play drums. That wasn't a good time for me. I don't know why. It was having to explain myself to people. Why didn't they get you? Aren't you good enough? And I had a good conversation with Robert about that many years later. I said that was a really tough time for me to understand. And we had a really good heart-to-heart, and he had a very good reason of why it was they did what they did. But then, to get a chance to do it again in 2007, the way we did it, to have all that time to rehearse, to be around them was very special. I had performances for me, just acoustic performances while they were sat on a couch, where they would play Tangerine or Going to California with nobody else in the room other than myself. I feel very blessed to have been around that and around them. And there was a lot of talk about possibly going on. But at least we got to do it, or I got to do it one more time in an environment where it was done really well. And I think everyone that's seen it, I always say, if opening night was like that, what would it be like after we did 20 shows? It would have been on fire. Now since then, I've probably done 150 shows playing that music, so I know I'd be better. But no, I let it go. That's up to the gods. But I'm just glad to be out back working again and playing. And as I said, a new album with Sammy Hagar Circle. I can't wait for everyone to hear that. Dave Cobb did an amazing job producing that, and Vance Powell of engineering, who I'd worked with back in the day with California Breed, with Glenn and Andrew Watts. And also with Caleb Johnson, who I went and played on an album with. So that's the sound of the album is amazing, also, as well as the songs. And I get to do this. I have the best of both worlds. If with the Van Halen pun there, I do. That is my theme song. I have the best of both worlds. Sammy's very gracious to let me do my own thing when I do, and then I get to be the drummer again and have a laugh and with the boys and play some amazing music. Alex Van Halen is a phenomenal drummer, and probably still is if he wanted to play now. So to me, to get a chance to even play, I'm very fortunate. Drummers, when we go in other people's bands, we're fortunate. We get to play some amazing music. Sometimes some drummers aren't so fortunate. Yeah, I don't think I do well in a Rush thing. A Rush was never wasn't my. I think it wasn't my vibe. But I would have a go. I'd give it everything. At least at least one song, at least. But you know what I mean? I'm very fortunate I get to play some amazing music. Somebody put it great the other day in an interview. They said, you got to play with the best British rock band, you know, one of the biggest bands in the world from England. And you're also playing with two guys that are probably from the biggest American rock band, Van Halen.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's not a bad thing to have on your resume.
Thank you for tuning in, and please hit that like button, it's appreciated. Make sure that you subscribe for more rock-related content.